and has been here being Margaret's Torah for decades, probably longer than I'm here, and it really led the way for many B'nai Torah, Talmidei Chachamim, and it's a big schus to have him be Ma'ir the Olam in honor of the upcoming Yontif Kabbalah Torah. So it's a big cover to call on Rabbi Friedman. Shekayach.
Tonight's Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Klal Yisrael is born mid Sinai. V'yichan Sham Yisrael neged Ahar. We all know it says K'ish echad b'leiv echad. And Yom Sheni is Atem Tili Mamleches Koyanim v'Goy Kodesh. That Klal Yisrael becomes the Mamleches Koyanim. They become the nation of the way the English priests, godly princes, Mamleches Koyanim Sorim v'Goy Kodesh, and afterwards becomes the Shloishes Yemei Hagbolah and Maimer HaSinai. I was thinking, what's has been the Seder Hadvorim for Maimer HaSinai? Chodesh Sivan, Ish Echad B'leiv Echad, and there's sort of a build-up to Atem Tilim Mamleches Koyanim v'Goy Kodesh, then the Shloishes Yemei Hagbolah, and then there is Maimer HaSinai. There's obviously a Seder and a reason why it has to be built up in such a oifen. So, the Kish Echad, B'leiv Echad, L'chayra, we all understand, we're coming from the Yemei HaSfira, and the Yemei HaSfira is Le'nagu Koved Zeh Lo Zeh, Klal Yisrael. The Talmidei Rebbe Kiva had a tremendous loss because they were not noyed Koved Zeh Lo Zeh. When there's Le'nagu Koved Zeh Lo Zeh, Rachmana Litzlan, they were nifta. It's impossible, at least in my mind, to understand why such a grave voinish for Le'nagu Koved Zeh Lo Zeh, but that's what Chazal say. Chazal say that when Le'nagu Koved Zeh Lo Zeh Memela, they had to be killed out. But Al Kaponim, you see how grave the chait of Le'nagu Koved Zeh Lo Zeh, that the Torah couldn't continue. Surah Meshech Chochmah and Parshas Yisro says, "V'yanu kol om yachtov," that the yachtov, you need a yachtov. Without a yachtov, you don't have a Matan Torah. He says because within a group of Klal Yisrael, not everyone has every mitzvah. People have karka, people are kehanim, leviim. Even in Torah, people that are learning the Torah kol hayoim, people are less. Everyone has their nekuda, and through the yachtov, you have the whole kiyum haTorah. So perhaps that's the pshat of V'yichan Sham Yisrael neged Ahar. You need the first maimed of V'yichan Sham Yisrael neged Ahar to be able to go and create a Maimer HaSinai. In order to have a Maimer HaSinai, you need first a V'yichan Sham Yisrael neged Ahar that Klal Yisrael wants to be makabel the Torah in its totality together, and Avada, you can add on to the Verta, the Meshech Chochmah, is that every single Yid has a chelik in Torah that another Yid doesn't have. Every single person has a chelik in Torah. And if I can't get your Torah, and he can't get his Torah, and everyone can't get everyone's Torah, then you don't have a Kiyam HaTorah. Kiyam HaTorah can only be when you Gans Klal Yisrael together, everyone has everyone else's chelik in Torah. And when everyone has everyone else's chelik in Torah, you have a chelik in Torah. But the Mamleches Koyanim v'Goy Kodesh seems to be such an important point that it comes before Shloishes Yemei Hagbolah and it becomes before Maimer HaSinai. And perhaps the hezbollah is that the Mamleches Koyanim v'Goy Kodesh is really an identity of Klal Yisrael, who we are. In the Svarim, it's been given a name as Yom HaMeyuches, that Klal Yisrael gets their yichus. The yichus means who I am, to who I belong, what's my calling. Where Mamleches Koyanim v'Goy Kodesh. And afterwards come Maimer HaSinai. Many times you hear from people, Torah, so many laws, so many mitzvahs. You see in Chazal, even by certain Rishoyim, Milan Efishin, it was very hard. famous Dubna Magid, Oisi Karose Yaakov, Ki Yoga Bi Yisrael, famous Moshel, where the person's coming back from the station, bringing back his friend's suitcase, and the Yid is waiting, and he sees the person schlepping the suitcase, and he says, no, it's not my suitcase. He described it exactly. He says, no. You're huffing and puffing, you're out of breath. My suitcase is not so heavy. Says the Dubna Magid, when a Yid feels that the Torah is too hard, it's too heavy. If it's too heavy, it's too hard. There's mumchim that teach people how to lift weights. That only chelik of the kunz is also how to hold it. Because if you hold it in the wrong position, you hurt your back, you hurt your body. The Torah HaKadoshah is the Rached HaKenoyim. And if a person feels that it's a burden, it's too hard, there's an oil Torah, but when the burden becomes not geschmack and not enjoyable, like Oisi Karase Yaakov, Zok the Dubna Magid, Ki Yoga Bi Yisrael. The Mamleches Kohen and the Goy Kodesh, a person has to realize how lucky he is to be a Yid. It's interessant to say, first time you say Shema and Kabbonis, you say first Ashreinu ma toiv chalkeinu ma noam godeleinu, Ashreinu shanachnu mashkim mariv merva b'gvoinu pamayim Shema Yisrael. It's only after Ashreinu that we say Shema Yisrael. We realize we gliklech, how lucky we are, how special we are, how choshev we are. Then we can say Shema Yisrael. And again, we feel chosen. We can go say Krishma. Mamish bedugma. To the Chubin Bayis Rishon, Chazal tell us in Masechtas Yuma, Shleiborchu b'Torah tchila. You would think, you could think of so many different Averas, what Klal Yisrael would do wrong. The Zorah, Gila Raish, why was the Chubin Bayis HaMikdash? By the way, if you know the Gemara, Dovaz HaShol and Nevi'im, ganze list how we found out. Kodesh Baruch Hu ba'atzma, Shleiborchu, Oisi Kara. The Gemara says, because Halavai Oisi Osis Rosh Hashemot, Shleiborchu b'Torah tchila. And the Rishonim Mutchazach, what does that mean? You didn't say Birchas HaTorah, Churban Beis HaMikdash. The Teretz is clear. Because if you're not machshiv something, you don't have cheshivas for something, what's the Torah worth? The Torah is just a small detail in your life. How can that have any specialty? How can that have any cheshivas? It doesn't, you're not machshiv what you're doing. What Churban Bayis happened, Shloi Baruch Hu b'Torah because they were machshiv. If you're not machshiv something, you don't have from it, you don't realize that it's not special, it's not choshev. You can sit and learn a whole day, but if you're not machshiv what you're doing, Shloi Baruch Hu b'Torah tchila, can say that's the Zelbi Yisoid. The Mamleches Kohen and the Goy Kodesh is the Yisoid. And the Torah is, now you have a different Torah. The Torah is the Torah of Mamleches Kohen and V'Goy Kodesh. A person gets a job in a big firm, he becomes an executive. Doesn't ask, the first thing he wants to know is, what are the rules? Right? Ma yeshbo, what does it say there? They don't get it. Because it's not about what it says. I know many, many times, I've been at a Maimed, all thousands Eden get together, there's Gedolei Yisrael there, and you had a Maimed for a few hours, and your mamash, you leave, wow, Yidden, Loimdei Torah, Gedolei Torah, Talmidei Chachamim, it's a Maimed, you get together, you leave, you feel so rejuvenated, so geschmack, such an ambiance, such a matziv, such a Yisroimimus. It happened to me many times when I leave and I come back and I tell people, wow, so what they say, what were the speakers, what they say, so what? Here's the kasha, what did Rishiva say over there, what teretz did he say? So you mean to that kasha, that teretz, that you right away take apart the whole matziv because, it's not about a kasha, it's not about a teretz, it's about experiencing what it is. Mamleches Kohen and V'Goy Kodesh, the guy want to know, Maksiv Bey, what steht dort? We say, no, it's not for me. You notice a ger, when he wants to become a ger, what do? Tell him all the shver halachas, you think you'll chase him away. He's not allowed to learn Torah. He learns Torah. Even a shayla, if a ger is allowed to learn Torah before he becomes a yid. Even to learn the ikka mitzvahs, if he could do the mitzvahs, the limit Torah is a shayla about in the poskim. But a ger is not shaykh to a guy is not shaykh to Torah because he can't see the beauty. Because in the Torah is the beauty because it's coming from a yid that's a mamleches kohen and the guy kadosh. A guy once told me, I don't drive a fancy car, but he once went to a Ferrari place, he was there. And I said, I don't know. And the guy walks in. He goes, "Can I buy a Ferrari?" And the guy says, "Oh, listen, I got all types." He goes, "What does it cost?" He goes, "You don't belong here. Go to the Buick store down the block." People that buy Ferrari don't ask the price. Klal Yisrael is nasev and ishma. Torah, it's not, whatever it is, we're here. We want it. Guy offers a job in a very chashuv company. He's going to get a top-notch job. He's going to be the head of the company. The COVID, the geld, the zaken. He doesn't start asking, what type of tie you have to wear when you show up. Can you wear a flannel shirt or a T-shirt? These questions don't get. Whatever it is, I'll take care of it. I need that position. I have to get to there. It's not, but that's what Mamleches Koyin and the Goy Kodesh is. That's what a Klal Yisrael is. That's what we are, and that's what we stand for. The emphasis you see it in davening also by Yom Tovim. Very interesting. He says, "Ata b'chatonim kol ha'amim, after Yisonu, v'tzis b'onu v'em tonim kol ha'shonis, v'dashtonim mitzazech v'kerev tonim." A ganze lange Megillah. And then you say, "V'titen lono Hashem b'kenim b'havim, ma'yad m'simcha, chag ha'matzis, chag ha'sukkos, chag ha'shuos." Why are we saying that for? The whole long thing is because really the Yontif is a teitzah of the liebshaft of the Ahava that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. A lot of times we look at the do's and don'ts. They say over Psamaisa, there was once a kid, in Nebuch in Yiddishkeit, and the Nebuch wasn't on the path. His father took him to Psagraisa Tzadik Elech Yid. The Tzadik Elech Yid asked him, "What's the pshat? Why are you having such a hard time with Torah and mitzvahs?" He said, "The Rebbeinu Shloim is so tough, he's so mean, he wants this, he wants that, he wants this, he wants that. It's too hard for me, it's just not for me." The Tzaddik looked at him and says, me and you both agree. In your Rebbeinu Shloim, I don't either believe in. In your Torah, I don't either believe in. But the Rebbeinu Shloim and the Torah and mitzvahs are geschmack. It's a cheshivas. It's a glick. We're lucky to be a yid. Taka, your Torah, your Rebbeinu Shloim, I'm also a koifer in that. It's the wrong Rebbeinu Shloim you're carrying around. You don't really understand what Torah mitzvahs. You have to re-teach the person what Torah mitzvahs is all about. It's not understanding it right. Klayoka asks, Pashtus Hemor, it's an interessante Sache. I mean, it's not only the Klayoka, a lot of Mefarshim ask this question. Why is that you don't find in Har Sinai, you don't find that Maimer Har Sinai in the Torah was given on a certain, on Shavuos. Till today, you open the Gemara, Masechta Shabbos, it was given on Vav, Zion. It's not clear. Ganz in the Machlokes in the Gemara. When was it in the Torah? When was it given? It's not clear. We don't know when it is. So the Klayoka says an unbelievable thing. The Klayoka says that the Torah didn't want to write specifically when it is, because then we would do the Torah that day, and that's it. So the Torah is being meramas to you that Maimon HaSinai is all the time. Every time. It's always here. It's said over a similar, so, with a different knech, from the Reshiva Rabbaran Zatzal, that he used to say that for everything there's a zeicha. Sukkot is a zeicha l'anani hakovet, Pesach is a zeicha l'tzias Mitzrayim. But Shavuos there's no zeicha. Why don't we do anything with zeicha? Yeah, there's minhagim that we do. But there's no zeicha, a thing of a zeicha. The Shiva Rabban used to say, a moedik azach. He said, a zeicha is only befitting for something that you don't have, you have to remember. A person went on a trip, he had a special journey, he paid a lot of money, he went to visit some country, some place. He wants to remember, he takes out a picture, he takes out his videos, he wants to remember it. But Maimer HaSinai is always there. It's every day in our lives. Kol yoim v'yoim, bas kol yoytzei. Hamalamed es b'noi Torah, ki l'kibla HaSinai, this Maimer HaSinai is be'ema b'yir b'res b'zei, this halachas balkeri. How a person has to be ema b'yir b'res b'zei, why from Har Sinai? Har Sinai is a constant Maimer, it's a constant time, it's a constant place. So it's constantly here. Shavuos is just reliving that Maimed. But Avada and Avada, Maimer HaSinai is at every moment. It's a famous marshal. I once heard the marshal for something else, but then I heard it from a Baldarshan who was Negeya Maimer HaSinai. You know, a lot of times, we lose focus. I once opened one of the so-called Hamish magazines, and it said, Shavuos is not only about cheesecake. So Mamish thought I was going to see a list of shiurim in the community. He says, no, Shavuos is not only about cheesecake. Think cheese blintzes, cheese barekas, cheese. Other things, there's not only cheesecake, there's other things also. There was once a Yid, he was in a shtot, he was a Greisig Gevir, he was the Rosh HaKol of the city. Him and his wife were Baba Yomim. It's time to get an Edom. Goes to the local, finds where the local chashivs, the yeshivas, he travels, he goes out, and he comes to the yeshiva with a few hundred bachim, he goes to the yeshiva, you know me, you heard of me, I've sent you money over the years, I've been a supporter, get me the best bacher here. Guy brings out a bacher, mamish, the gashmias, the beruchnias, b'maru, b'koyma, b'chachma, b'yira, mash, ala mailas. So he goes over to the bacher, he says, Tyra bacher, maybe you want to come back to my city? You know what I have? Have for you waiting. I have a whole business that's going to support you, and you're going to sit and learn Torah. I have a whole svarim room, and you'll be saying shiurim for the whole city. It's going to be gewaldig. Bach is so excited. Comes to the shtot, he comes to the city, and he sees, first he shows him the company, the factory. Bach says, Hashem sagt, take me to besmet. No, I mean, kemach in Torah. You have to see how you're going to live, how you're going to learn. Nishpashit. Okay, shows him the beautiful business. Then he shows him the house he's going to live in. Then he shows him the besmedrash and all the people that come, and they all want to hear shiurim, gewaldig. After a few days, the bacher says, I saw the business, I saw the company, I saw the house, I saw everything over. Tachlis, osle kadosh ishat shirena. I want to go in. So the guy tells him, Hemachois, me and my wife are an older couple. We don't have any children. But we're looking for an Edom. And we very, very much would like you to be our Edom. And we're going to give you everything. Money, sitting and learning, and a business, and a factory. And you're going to be our Edom. The Nimshul, the Chavada, gewaldige Zach. People look at Shavuos. You have this, you have that, you have this, you have alle gute Sachen, alle gewaldige Sachen. But the Kala, the Ikke Zach, perhaps we can link to the same Nikud over here. At the Shalei Baruch Hu B'Torah Tchila is the Cheshivas. Even Meretach Tatziba B'nei Torah Baruch Hashem Kulam Ahuvim. Ched Tzizich, I'm speaking to myself, I'm speaking a little louder so others can hear also. But even when we go to Shavuos, and the Ik is not the cheesecake, and not even the cheese blintzes and the other cheese barekas and everything else, but the Ik is Taka Torah HaKadoshah. But how much is it do we feel the pride of the Mamleches Kohen and the Goy Kodesh? How much do we feel G'dayli Yisrael felt Nebuch? The Yid's not going to have anything. It's a brach, it's Nebuch. He's not Zoicha. So you do it a Meiser, a Baron Kotler. Went to a Gvir once for money. I heard the Eidos. Amos Buren, he said over the Meiser to me. He repeated, it's printed, but he repeated the Meiser to me. He said he was there with Rabbaran, and he asked the guy for money. And the guy was very, very negative, spoke very not nice. And Rabbaran's tears in his eye. And Amos Bunim started telling this Yid, this Yid was still from Europe, he had a Shikla Hasaga, who G'dayli Yisrael was. He said, you realize who this is? This is the Chavetz Chaim, Reb Chaim Moiser, here in America. Yeah, he said it's not Negeya, Zeitgesund. So he walk out and he sees Rabban has tears in his eyes. Amos says, what's the Shiva Nebuch? Rabban looked at him and goes, you think I'm upset? I'm crying for him. I'm crying for him. The Yid has no schusim. He has nothing. Nishkan Shabbos, Nishkan. I thought I'll have the schus of Achzokas HaTorah. And now I see that he's not Zoicha to that also. Of them bin ich zerbrochen. That's the Hasaga of a Godel. Hasaga of a Godel is you see another Yid doesn't have the Torah and mitzvahs. He doesn't have the Mamlechas Koinim v'Goy Kodesh. He doesn't have a Yiddish stolz, a Yiddish pride. He doesn't have even, he's losing, I feel, a Yid in his worst matzah for it, erkennischt, los noch a Yid lernen. Los noch a Yid. He grew up, he had a shtickle Zika to Yiddishkeit. Crying for another Yid because he doesn't have Torah and mitzvahs. The avodah of a Yid is perhaps in these days, avodah to mechazik sein in Torah. But just to be mechazik nochamal in Torah, mechazik nochamal in Torah is to go to the root, to the shoirish. To the shoirish. It's Yedua. It's Yedua, everyone knows this, I'm just repeating it. That the Godel Ador, Moshe Feinstein, Zayzech Tzadik, the Kodesh Baruch used to say that there were many Yidden in America, Talmidei Chachamim, that weren't Zoicha to give over the Torah to their children, Nebuch, their children went astray. Why did it happen? The Godel Ador said, because there were two types of Yidden. There were Yidden, those haben gesetzt and gelernt, sie given zu schwer zu sein, a Yid. And it was on, they sat and learned Nebuch. And then there were Yid who said, wie Geschmack zu sein, a Yid. And that Torah was given over. But perhaps, nicht nur that Torah was given over, but that Torah is an andere Torah. So a Torah fin Geschmack, so a Torah fin Glicklich. So you do a Baruch Ber walked in the street once and he saw a big guy and he was smiling. I think I heard this Meisef from Yeshiva Shmuel Birnbaum. He said over, as a Baruch Ber gesagt, wie kann schmeicheln? And he said, Pshat na Rashba. Gesagt Pshat na Rashba. What's he smiling? Didn't understand that I saw someone just gave out a psakuntras from Shmuzim, from Shmuel Birnbaum. He said, came to America and the guy was masbing what sports is. So the guy stands there with a bat and throws a ball and he hits it. And the oilam for days and weeks and months after was analyzed if he would have hit it this way, would have hit it that way. And he could have went this way, could have went that way. He could have won the game. And his team would have won. And that means they could have went to a bigger team and another team. Shul Birnbaum said, das is oilam haza. Ain't oilam haza is a steak. Oilam haza is a Cadillac. This is oilam haza. Gedoyle Yisrael looked at Torah mitzvahs wie Geschmack zu sein Torah. Everything else was like not important. But perhaps the Ikra Ikrim is the Baruch of Torah Tchil, and it's an interessante Sach. What is the Baruch of Birchas HaTorah? Asher Baruch Abona Mikol HaAmim. It's not a Baruch Hashem, Asher Gechem Tzoyis Von Al Mitzvahs Limud HaTorah. Asher Baruch Abona, that's the Bracha. Because a Yid before he learns Torah has to know wie glicklich it is. Asheinu matoiv chalkeinu manoim goy aleinu wie glicklich it is. How beautiful it is. I once brought a Yiddish survivor. I brought him down to our moisid. Speak to the boys. Is this given a Yid at Talmud Chacham? A Yiddish brother went to Daf Yomi. That was the extent. I substituted Daf Yomi many, many times. Kashas at the Kemelish gefragt. He sat by the shir. Nice. Did what he's supposed to. But he walked in and he looked and he saw tears in his eyes. A Yid versteht. This is the Mesiris HaTorah from one door to the next. It is verstanden. Also weit it verstanden. Because obviously someone once ingrained in him the Chashivas, the Mesiris HaTorah, the Shabbat Rabban Mikol HaAmim, the Vaharav Na Hashem Lekeinu is the Risroscha Befinu. Just want to be Messiah. It's supposed to be in such a gewaldige Mokum Torah here. It's a gewaldig where the Limud Torah is throughout the day, in the light, Balbatim, the afternoon Kollel, Nacht Kollel, Ben Azdorim, children's programs, Bochum programs. It's a revolution. I heard over, I was in Lakewood once, and someone said, you want to show someone what a dogma of an out-of-town Kollel is, North Miami Beach, because I didn't even know I was shaykh to South Florida. Said, North Miami Beach Kollel, that's a dogma. We show a younger man, we tell him what the koyach HaTorah, what the koyach a Malkim Torah is what it can do. It makes a revolution. The koiches that it brings, and the Baruch Hashem, I was zoich over the years to meet a lot of the younger light. It's they have such a ahava to come in. You walk in here, it's oilam hazeh. These are my yeshiva Shul I used to say. It's in it. Those things as Mesiras Nefesh to tell like a girl would come to him. There's a kala, gewaldig. She's so happy. She would eat. Shul would ask, "Why are you marrying your chosni? He's going to learn in Torah." Man, he says, "I want to be Mesiras Nefesh." No. It's not for you. Mesiras Nefesh for Torah. This is wrong. Wie gliklach du bist at the hosta ben Torah. At the best Mesiras Nefesh. Mamish the shmuz that we said. So Baruch Hashem, the oilam here, it's a geschmack, and we learned, and it's a revolution, and Baruch Hashem, it's a yibigedreit, and we're going to bigger mekoymes HaTorah. The mamish keep this maimer asin. I just want to share with the oilam and Mukhi Yosef. I'm sure many of you know it. There's in Mukhi Yosef, Mesechtes Bava Basra. The Gemara in Bava Basra says, Mishesh lechoyli b'soich beisoy. If someone has a sick person in the house, yeilech etzel chochem v'yevakish ol rachman. He should go to a chacham and he should ask him to daven. We know that. Everyone knows. You go to Erlich Yidin, you ask a name. It's a normal zach. But then Mukhi Yosef says at the end of this piece, a mordik zach, uminek betzorfas, that you go to a chacham at toifes yeshiva. V'yevakish ol rachman. So he steht. The Mukhi Yosef, last I checked, is not a Tamim and Hogim. Not that it's not a minig sefer. It's all kulei, Rishonim and all. What's he bringing this in? That it's and what's mechates and where does he get this from? So mein gefallen, I'll share with the oilam. If your maskim is good, if not, I won't be insulted. Perhaps the pshat is like this: a chacham hatoifes yeshiva is someone that took achrayas for a maimer har Sinai. Peter Klayoka, the pshat is every single day of the year has Maimer HaSinai. We know Maimer HaSinai, it's Rapo Kol HaChoylam. Kol Am Roya Mes HaKoylas is a Lapidem, Oizen, Roya. And Rashi brings the Chazal, there wasn't an Iver, there wasn't a Sumer, there wasn't a Cherish, everyone was Nisrapo Kol HaChoylam. Weiss Maimer HaSinai has a koyach to be Nisrapo Choylam. Who has the koyach of Maimer HaSinai? Klayoka says Maimer HaSinai is all the time. Rabban says, learning Torah, doesn't Maimer HaSinai alone. It's not a zeicha. So a chacham that was toifes yeshiva, that took achrayas for this Maimer HaSinai, that teaches Torah in this, has a gewaldige schus to be merape kol hacholim, take fragen, take beten by the alle chachamim, the toifsa yeshiva, Rosh Kollel take, you should have the schus to be mevakish ol rachmim. Klal Yisrael needs so many Yeshuas and Nefuas and Brachas. They shall helfen. We should be Zoicha to go kegen Maimer HaSinai, just like Maimer HaSinai was then of Nisrapa Kol HaChoylim. We should all be gebenched and have a good gebench yontif and a good yom.